Happy Friday, everyone. And okay, bear with me. Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to Midday Manna. Hey, Val. Where I go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, just to give you a word of encouragement, a word to empower you, a word to inspire you, a word to challenge you, a word to move us from inaction to action. Because at the end of the day, we want to be doers of His word and not hearers only. We want My testimony is that I hear the Lord say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." Good afternoon, Mother Graham. That He says, "Well done." Everything that I do so He can say, "Well done." I want to make sure that I am intentional when it comes to pleasing God. It is my desire. Hey, Courtney, it is my desire to please God. And sometimes in me pleasing God, hey, Jordan, I have to make hard decisions. Hey, Bestie. Hey, K Bell. We have to make hard decisions when it comes to pleasing God. And it's not to say that a lot of people determine what they do based upon if it's going to send them to heaven or if it's going to send them to hell. A lot of things that we do will not send us to hell. A lot of things we do will not send us to hell, but that's not my motive in doing it. That's not why I do it. That's not my why. My why is I want to please God. And if pleasing God requires me to make a hard decision about separating myself from certain people or not listening to certain things or not watching certain things or not partaking in certain things, not that it's wrong, not that it's going to send me to hell, it's going to compromise my consecration. It's going to compromise me. It's going to compromise my conviction. My conviction lines up with my purpose, what God has called me to do. And sometimes you're going to have to make hard choices. Do I want to please people or am I trying to please Him? And at the end of the day, I am trying to please Him. And K Bill, you asked about the music yesterday. It's one of the albums called Momentum, and then there's another one called Heaven. I believe is Rest. And if somebody can please put those links in here for her, it's good meditation music. It's good music just to soak in His presence. It's good music to have you pray. And with what I realized with Momentum, it it the album Momentum, if you're having like a blockage of creativity, if you're planning your day, you're planning your life, you're writing out your agenda, play that because it almost it ushers in the presence of God to the point where it begins to unlock stuff. I've had difficulties with being creative. I put that on and it almost like it flowed, like it released or broke a dam. Yeah, momentum is it. You planning, you doing anything prophetic, you're about to walk into your new a new plan that God has, a new season for you. And you're writing out the goals that God has for you, and you're looking for strategy. I think that momentum is great when it comes to strategic planning and prophetic planning. That's you want to get it. So drop that in there, please, somebody for me. Okay, let's dive in because we've been talking about abiding in the vine and how us abiding in the vine allows us to bear much fruit, and we can't do anything outside of abiding in the vine. And we were discussing the things that hinder or the things that will cause us to disconnect from the vine. So we were talking about the things that will cause us to disconnect. And remember, us disconnecting, it doesn't have to be instantaneously. It can be gradual. It can be in stages, and it can be in moments, in seasons, situations. A lot of things add to us disconnecting gradually. And there's two things I want to talk about today that will cause us to disconnect, which it's you when you think about it, you're like, yeah, that would. So doubt and unanswered prayers. Doubt and unanswered prayers one. So when we think about doubt, we think about not having the faith or not having the belief to believe and to wait on God answering something, to wait on God answering something. When it comes to doubt, that it is a sense of impatience. It's a sense of you begin to get frustrated and sometimes agitated and aggravated in our season of waiting for answers. Doubt begins to set in when we're waiting for answers. And we can find ourselves disconnected when we're faced with unanswered prayers or prolonged trials, when things seem to last longer than we anticipated. When things seem to last longer than we anticipated and answers are not coming fast as we expected. So, what does doubt have to deal with? Our expectation. It has to deal with our time, the timing of God and our timing, and it also has to deal with perspective. Doubt, I believe, deals with perspective. Why? Because doubt is meant to shift our perspective of the wine dresser, the vine dresser, the one who tends the garden, the one who he's the husbandman. God tends the garden, and sometimes we find ourselves with the wrong perspective of him in this time of doubt and unanswered prayers. It can cause us to believe that God is distant. So, what is doubt trying to do? Change your perspective of who God is and that He's a good father, or He answers prayer, or He is concerned about me. It causes us to feel as if God is distant and He's not answering, He's not listening. So, when we allow doubt in, what we are allowing is a shift of perspective. Our perspective of God is about to take a shift. Why? Because we are now focused more on what we're in, what we're facing, other than the God who's able to not just answer and bring us out, but strengthen us in it. A lot of things that we're going to face, He's not going to take you out right away, but He will strengthen you and give you grace to endure, grace to endure the trial, grace to endure the difficulty. Grace. He gives us grace. Now imagine a tree branch, and it's growing weary because it's dependent on the vine because it doesn't see immediate results. The branch is saying to the vine, "Hey, you're not moving fast enough. I expect it to be a little bit more, have more fruit on my tree now. I expected this to have been happen quicker. I expected this to have some type of to see results faster than what I'm seeing." And then the branch tells the vine, "You're not moving at my pace. You're not moving at my you're not moving in my timing." And so what does that do to the branch? The branch perspective begins to get clouded by doubt because they're not seeing the results that they anticipated. We can find ourselves there. We've prayed, we asked God for something, and it's not happening in our timing. Not our timing, not how we wanted it, how we desired it, or even the way that we expected it to come. And then now, when I begin to doubt, my perspective of God shifts. I no longer see Him as a good father. I no longer see Him as one who answers and one who cares and one who's concerned about me. I don't see Him as that anymore. Now I see Him from a clouded view. I begin to say, you know what? Maybe He's not concerned. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe he's not concerned about my issues. Maybe he doesn't care about me right now. And then what does that do? That causes me to be distant. That causes me to distance myself. If you feel somebody does not care for you and is not concerned for you, I doubt you want to spend time around them. I doubt you want to talk to them. I doubt you want to find yourself in their presence. I doubt you want to seek and run after them. I doubt you want to be at their feet and trying to be intimate with you. If you feel somebody does not care about you, I doubt you make the initiative to be in their face. And that's what doubt wants to do to us. And doubt happens one decision at a time. Doubt and distance and disconnection happens one decision at a time. Disconnection happens one decision at a time. Doubt causes us to be rooted in lies and fear and deception. But when we shift from doubt to trust, we are allowing our perspective of God to remain clear and rooted in truth. If our perspective is clouded, we have allowed ourselves to be rooted in lies, fear, and deception. If our perspective needs to be clarified and clear, it has to be rooted in truth. It has to be rooted in truth. You have to remind yourself who God is. It is against his nature to lie. He cannot lie. He cannot lie. If he was to lie, that would not make him God. If he was to lie, that would not make him holy. And we know that the angels cry one to another, holy is the Lamb of God, who was, who is, and who is to come. And if he was to lie, that would not make him God. It's against his nature and his character. There's no way that he can lie. It's no way. Then it's no way he can fail. You know the song, He Hasn't Failed Me Yet? No, he can never fail you. He can never fail. It would not make him God. He's God. He's Elohim. He's a self-existent one. It would not make him Adonai. It would not make him Jehovah Rapha. It would not make him Jehovah Jireh. He cannot go against his name. Can't go against his word. He is his word. He is his name. His name shows his identity. He is his name, and he can't go against it. So he's not going to lie. So this realize when we are deceived, we are when we walk in doubt and we have doubt, we are deceived and we allow ourselves to become distant. And anytime we allow ourselves to become distant, distance, what distance does is it's going to allow the things that are in us that contradict, or the things that are in us that don't line up with his word. It allows those things to be seen. It allows those things to be fed upon. So doubt feeds upon your insecurities. Doubt feeds upon the areas of your life that are very questionable. Those areas that are not submitted and surrendered. Doubt feeds on that. Doubt feeds on what you're insecure about, what you are compromising in, what you allow your guards to be down in. Doubt feeds on that, and it causes us to disconnect from the vine. What does doubt? It's causing us to be disconnected. It wants us disconnected. Distance is the process of disconnecting from the vine. When God doesn't answer when we want him to, you stop praying. Some of us stop giving, stop tithing. We stop going to church. We stop being around a strong community. We stop serving. When our prayers are not answered and trials are too long and situations seem to be longer than we expected, you back up in some kind of way. Some kind of way, you stop worshiping. You stop spending time in devotion. Your prayer life dwindles. You stop fasting. You stop seeking the face of God. You stop being in his word. Why? Because you doubt he's going to answer. You don't feel like he cares. So if you feel like you're like, whatever. Hey, it is what it is. And then we just say it is. We chunk it up. We chuck it up to it is what it is. But the scripture Psalms 34:18 tells us the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. Even when we cannot see immediate relief or a breakthrough, God's nearness is a consistent. It is constant. He is near to the brokenhearted. His word cannot lie. He cannot lie. Sometimes these seasons of hardship are where God does his greatest work. His greatest work in us is to refine us, to strengthen and draw us deeper into a trust with him, a deeper relationship with him. James 1:2-4 says, it speaks of how trials and tests, the test of our faith, are developing perseverance, ultimately maturing us. So us being in situations where he doesn't take us out immediately, it is developing perseverance. It is maturing us. It is perfecting the thing that is in us. When he said, when you have been tried, when you've been tried in the fire, you come out as pure gold. What we're in sometimes is meant to purify us. It's meant to allow the things that would hinder and separate us, or the things that would delay what he wants to do with us in the future. Those things are purged out of us. They are purged out of us. The fire, the refiner's fire that we may be in right now, it is going to consume the things he cannot use, and it's going to purify the things that he can. It's going to and what does Romans 8:28 says? All things work together. We have to realize that he can't lie. Everything that we're in is going to work together. It may not feel good in the process of it, but it's going to work together. It is going to work together. Why? Because we're not going to distance ourselves when doubt tries to set in. We're going to get a clear perspective of who God is. We're going to remind ourselves that He is near to the brokenhearted. We're going to we're going to remind ourselves that when we're in situations, we're in trials, we're in the testing of our faith, that this thing is not meant to break us. This thing will not destroy us, but this thing will develop perseverance in us. It is going to allow us to be perfected. It is going to allow us to be refined. It is going to allow us to be able to be used for His honor and His glory. And it's going to allow what's in us that is toxic, what's in us that will contaminate, what's in us that will cause our purposes to be aborted, that thing to come to the surface so that we can deal with it. When you put gold through fire, the impurities rise to the surface. Your fire right now is meant to allow impurities to rise to the surface, and what remains, He will strengthen. What remains, He will strengthen. God is working behind the scenes, people. He is working behind the scenes. He is orchestrating outcomes that we cannot even perceive. He is working behind the scenes. I believe it. And I believe what we're in right now, what we're facing right now, the uncertainties, the unknown, because we don't know what tomorrow holds. But we know who does hold it. We know who does hold it. We don't know. We see to the corner. He sees around the corner. And we cannot allow doubt. You cannot allow what you're in right now to cause you to distance yourself from God. The challenge then is to resist the urge to distance. Resist it. Resist the pull and the push to pull you away from His presence, to pull us the branch away from the vine. Resist it. When you feel isolated or discouraged, instead, you need to cling to the word of God. We need to cling to accountability, cling to a friend who is rooted in truth. Don't cling to somebody who will make excuses for you and allow you to feel how you feel. No, cling to truth. Cling to people who are going to push you in the direction of the Lord. Say, you know what? Your intimacy is off. I don't know about it. I feel something has shifted in you. I feel that you're a little distant. I feel like you're distant. You're distant from Him. I think you need some people like that in your corner in the season. Engage in prayer, engage in His word, even when it feels dry. Prayer sometimes can feel dry if we be honest. You can pray and sometimes you don't feel what you used to feel, or you don't feel, even when worship, sometimes it may feel as you keep pressing, even in that, even in the moments when it doesn't feel all like fire and oh my God, the presence, goosebumps, even when you don't feel like, you got to know that you know. Because it's not based upon my feelings. My faith is not based upon my feelings, and my feelings are not my faith. It is not what it is. It's not based upon what I feel. Stay in fellowship with believers. Stay close to people. God remains unchanging. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. God does not change. He is consistent, faithful to His promises, and always working for our good. Even in silence, He's working for our good. Even in difficulties, even in when prayers are not answered at our expectation or our timing, He is working. Even when He's silent, He's working. So during these times, don't pull away. Don't pull away. Don't allow doubt and unanswered prayers. Don't allow it. Don't allow it to cause you to distance yourself, but seek Him, seek intimacy, continue, press harder. Sometimes you got to fight harder. Fight harder. I moved here from New York and I was working downtown, and I'm closing in Chicago. I just want to tell you this part. I was working downtown in Chicago during the winter. And let me tell you, the winter is different. It's different. And I was downtown and walking against the wind off of the Lake Michigan. When I say to walk in against the way the wind was blowing, my face hurt. My face was hurting. I mean, my face, it was so cold. My face was hurting. Everything was hurting in my body, but I had to walk against it. I had to keep walking because if I stood still, if I stopped, I probably would have froze to death. I would have some type of frostbite, something that had to be put in the hospital. I had to fight against it and walk against it. Now, what am I saying? Even when it's painful, you're going to have to fight against the wind, the waves, that you're gonna have to fight against it, and you're going to have to push. You're gonna have to persevere. You're going to have to. Yes, Theo, these winters, that was different. You got ice inside your house when your heat is on 90. It's different. It's different here. So, what am I saying? Do not allow doubt. Do not allow your unanswered prayers to cause you to distance yourself from the vine. We are branches, and we cannot bear fruit. We cannot bear much fruit if we don't stay connected to the vine. We have to stay connected to the vine. Don't allow your perspective to be clouded because he has not answered based upon your timeline, because he's not answered based upon your timeline, or he's not allowed it to come the way you thought it was going to come. A lot of times, things are not going to come the way you expected it. It's not going to come through the people you hoped. It's going to come another way. It's going to come another way. And be prepared for that. It's going to come another way. But even in that, let us not allow ourselves to be distant. Check your connection. Check your connection. That's what I want us to do this weekend. Check your connection. Check to make sure that it's stable. Check to make sure that you have not allowed doubt to cause your perspective of God to be clouded. Check it. Make sure you have not caused unanswered prayers that have not been answered yet, have not been answered, have not manifested yet, because I believe he answers everything already. It is just has to come into existence here on the earth. It's been answered in heaven. We're just waiting for it to get here. So if it has not manifested or appeared or been touched the earth, the rim of earth, then what I would say to you is pushing harder, pushing harder. Hopefully something was said today that would cause you to move from inaction to action. We want to be a people, not information junkies, information hoarders, but we want to be executors. So enjoy your weekend. Share this with someone. Share this. We're holding on to that prophecy. Yes. Midday, Manna family, it's almost the end of September. So excited about the rest of this year. Yes, it's almost time. Maybe we need to do a prayer or something. But thank you so much for taking time out your day to join me, to just be a part, just be a part. And thank you. It's Friday. I fly out tomorrow to go to New York. If y'all, some of y'all may not know, but most people here do. I am the lead pastor of a church in New York, Glorified Deliverance. This is my second year, going into my second year of pastoring. And it's different, people of God. It's different. But I fly out tomorrow. So if I solicit your prayers, please pray for me. Please pray for me. Pray for me that I would be a pastor after God's heart, and that I will love people. That I will love people. I will protect people. I will feed people. And yeah, pray that I would love people. I will pray for people, feed people, and protect them. Apostolically, that is. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. See you Monday. Whew. See y'all Monday. Yes, check in. Check it. Was it check it? Check it. What's it? Check it. Check it. Amazing, Pat. Thank you, Courtney. You get a few. The Lord gives you a few. Let me tell you, he gives you a few, but we need to get off of here because I'll get to talking. Thank you, Val. I'll get to talking. Yeah, he'll give you a few. I think that's where two or three are gathered, was for that. Not that shouldn't be the size of your church, shouldn't be two or three. But we're not gonna talk about that. But see you guys on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe, stay safe. Go in your houses on Sunday in church. Y'all go to church on Sunday. Go in there with a level of expectation that is crazy. I mean, go in there like that God done talk to you before you got in there. He said everything's about to be done now. Go in there praising, exalting, get in tune with your praise and worship leader, participate in prayer. I mean, walk the ground. I mean, do something. Go in there explosive. Go in there like you dynamite and you about to explode in your church on Sunday. And yeah, we're going to have a good time. All right, guys. See you Monday. Bye.